Just quickly, Candy Crowley, any surprises tonight?
I don't think any surprises. I think it was a solid speech. Again, I think the idea of bookending it with the two foreign policy achievements, the end of the war in Iraq and the death of Osama bin Laden, made it a very sort of solid speech and a reminder to voters. Hey, by the way, remember, here's the two things I did. And as I mentioned before, this is a president who gets higher marks right now for his foreign policy than he does for the economy.
It was a populist speech, David Gergen, but was it possible? I mean, a lot of the things he's suggesting that states require that students have to stay in high school until 18?
Yeah, that's not, well, it's a nice call, but no, much of this will not happen. I think this is far more designed to be an agenda for his second term, to take it to the public, to fight it out on the hustings, to take it into the debates in October. I agree with Candy, I did not think there were any surprises there. I did think it was politically deft from his standpoint, and that is, I think he showed Democrats that he's willing to fight, that he's got some fresh ideas. I think he was deft in the way he shifted the emphasis away from deficits and away from jobs onto things like energy and skills and manufacturing. You know, he's trying to shake this up and also keep that focus on fairness. I must also tell you that I thought Mitch Daniels just gave one of the best rebuttals I've ever heard. You can understand now why so many sort of leading conservatives really wanted Mitch Daniels in this race. A sensible voice, and principled conservative, sensible voice, and didn't engage in a lot of this kind of hyper rhetoric we've been hearing in these debates.
Ari Fleischer, did you agree about Mitch Daniels?
I sure did. And Anderson, as you know, I'm neutral in this Republican presidential race, but I'm a Mitch Daniels and or a Paul Ryan guy. If either one of them was in, I think you'd see tremendous more energy in the Republican side, and you'd see that real disciplined focus on what I think are the core issues our country faces, the economic issues, and you'd see it in a friendly, inclusive way as well. That was the point I was making about the things that Governor Daniels emphasized tonight, very different from the issues that President Obama focused on tonight. A different emotional attachment on those issues. One really sees staving off this debt as the biggest issue we face. And for example, let's just yield for a second and raise the Bush tax rates on the wealthy. That gets you $700 billion over 10 years, and we have $25 trillion of debt over the same period of time. I mean, it's a pittance, but to President Obama, he seemed to think it's the solution. We're in so much debt that we can't even start to fathom taxes don't go far enough. Of course, it's a spending problem.
You know, Anderson, you have a great segment called Keeping Them Honest, and, you know, I got to keep Ari honest there. It's a little hard to hear Mitch Daniels talk about the deficit when he was the budget director under President Bush, when there was a surplus that turned into a deficit. Ari talked about those Bush tax cuts, which contributed to our deficit. Let's not be dishonest about that. Here's one thing, though, when you talk about the response, I also found it interesting when Mitch Daniels talked about a pro-poverty plan, if you will, you know, from the president. That was also striking there. The first time, frankly, we heard poverty come up tonight from either President Obama or even Governor Mitch Daniels. What is going to be interesting going forward, you talk about is obviously what is the next step. And I do think, though, that the president has to go beyond just those battleground states. I do believe that he should take his message to some of the red states in this country, some of the poor states in this country, begin to say, look, show me how their plans have turned out for you. Show me how they have made your life better. And are you going to have health care under their plans? Are you going to have a better education under those plans? I don't know if he wants to go there, but frankly, I think he should.